Why, hello, everybody. This is Miss Janice. How are you doing today? I am so excited to see you, and I'm so thankful that you've made it. I know that you see on the screen, besides my picture. So let me hide my picture. But I know that you see on the screen, and it talks about writing Head Start. Now, one of the nice or beautiful things about learning with Miss Janice is that you learn in every single category: reading, writing, math, and if reading encounters um, all of the sounds, the vowels, um, the hard words, and figuring out how to write, remember, excuse me, how to remember. We're learning how to remember, or how we remember personally. So I want you all to know that it's an exciting life learning how to do what you're supposed to do. And one of them, let's remember to push F11, and we're doing that sound. That's why I had to make sure I said F11 so we can hide the majority of the stuff that's on this page. And let's hide this right here. And yep, it went away. Okay, so this is not for you to really read, but this is for you to know that you're going to learn how to read, even if you don't know how to read. And if you already know how to read, you don't have to worry about a thing. You know that you're going to learn how to write. And if you already know how to write, then you're going to learn how, just special and techniquey ways for you to remember what you already know. The majority of the ideas that I have or that I teach is what you already know, is just bringing it back to your remembrance. Now, let me give you an example. Now, I read a lot. I read a lot, and a lot of times I read over the same thing. Remember, it's about that arms technique. Is always available to help you to remember what you need to remember, what you need to know. One of the best ways to do that is if you read or like a certain book or like a certain story, while you're listening to the story, not writing, but while you're listening to the story, you listen for certain sounds. Right now, we're learning to listen for the sound. So everything around that means that we're hearing it because we are listening for a specific sound. So that's what helps us to remember what we heard. Okay, and the best example I gave is and when someone is speaking, you look directly into their mouth. You look at their mouth and watch what they say, so that you can look for the teeth on top of the bottom lip, that F sound. Okay. And another thing that you need to remember, young people, is that you can do this. You already know how to do it. The thing that we as young people have to get over is wanting to do it. Well, you don't have, I don't want to do what you say. We have that. So it trickles over to what our teachers telling us, and it trickles over to what our mother and our fathers are telling us, and it trickles over to what our friends are telling us, and not necessarily telling us to do, but basically what they're saying. If you take everything and learn how to deal with what is being said to you, no matter how it's said. Let me give you the best example. I remember one day someone was basically trying to make me feel bad. And they said, "You're only doing that because she's your mother." And I was like, she knows that she's my mom. Oh my goodness. They know that Bishop Grace is my mother. And it's like I have privileges, I have rights, I have, an opportunity to do stuff that other people can't do. And I was feeling myself. I was really feeling like, hey, I am somebody because my mom is the pastor of this church. And, and it didn't come across the way they wanted because of the way they said it. That let me know that they wasn't saying it to be like for me to go, oh, she knows that she's my mom. They were saying it to make me feel bad, but it wasn't working. And so, depending on how you receive what is being said to you, if you receive what is being said to you as a compliment, you just have to figure out how to tone the voice down before it really gets to your heart, and how to turn it around to make it sound like something good, because you're supposed to always be thinking about something lovely, always thinking about something pure, always thinking about something that is like has a good report. But when you hear somebody say the same thing that you like hearing, but in a negative tone, you're the one that has that opportunity to flip that thing real quick. Okay, like if someone comes to you and say, "I love you too," I mean, you know that they don't mean it in a loving and kind way, but the words are true. And it might not be true coming out of their mouth, but when you hear certain things, it triggers certain things. If you hear positive things, you're always going to be good. You're always going to be good at that. You're so kind all the time. How come you look like someone that is so peaceful? And these are compliments that grown-ups give children. You're always smiling, but to me as a grown-up, and I would hear, you always reading the Bible. You always, I mean, don't you ever have any fun? And it's like, this is fun. I can't help it if you don't think that reading your word is fun. I mean, I get joy out of this. It calms me down. It takes away the stress. It's like a hiding place. It's like being in the side of a book that's inside of you. Anyway. So I'm here to let you know that how smart you are and that you're going to learn how to read. You're going to learn how to write. And the same techniques that I use can be used for little ones all the way up to the 12th grade. And I teach reading, writing, and math to 2-year-olds, but because 2-year-olds really don't go to, they kind of, some of them do. I remember when my little one was 2 and I sent her to daycare, but they taught her stuff. And I was like, what? At 2? Nah, I'll wait. I'll just promise her that when she turns 4, I'll send her to Head Start. It's like, this is my turn to hang out with my daughter. Anyway, so getting back to what we're doing, we are literally going to have an opportunity of moving the mouse. That's why you're seeing all this extra stuff. But we are literally going to have an opportunity to learn how to read, write, and to do math. And we're working with a program called Reading Head Start. It also has Writing Head Start, and then you're going to see Math Head Start, Spelling Head Start. It just has everything. And I just want you to know that the reason I'm working with that, because it's structured. It keeps you on a goal. And I just teach everyone at the level that they are. And let me explain it a little bit more. The other day I went to the store and it is called Barnes and Nobles, and I went to get a workbook. And I was looking in it, I'm literally sitting on the floor. I'm looking at this whole section that had the workbooks for preschool all the way up to, now I stopped at 7. I could have, I believe 6. I stopped at 6, but I could have went around and found 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, like that. But I didn't do that. And the reason I wanted to do what I'm telling you is Reading Head Start is right here and it's on my computer. And Writing Head Start is there, Math Head Start is there, and it teaches you structured ways to, like, if you're more advanced and you want to go online yourself and you want to go past where I'm teaching, so you can get this. But the structured lessons that you will receive is right here. I'm teaching you from this. Is the only difference is I read over this stuff first, and then after I read over it, I do it according to the rules that I've already explained. If you know how to hold, if it doesn't matter what age you are, if you know how to hold your fork or spoon the correct way, then you're ready to write. If you can eat a whole meal holding your spoon or fork the correct way, you're ready to write, because that's how you hold a pen or a pencil, a crayon. And then there's a part of the palm of your hand, the palm of your hand. It keeps your pen, not your pen, but your pencil, your crayon, it keeps what you're doing sturdy and steady. And the reason I teach reading first is because you can read before you can write. My daughter was reading at the age of 2 and words, not just, but we will find words that begin with the different sounds. Okay, so you can do all this. You can teach your children 2 to 12 via Miss Janet's reading, writing, and math tutoring program, and it's called Outside Learning Program. Outside Learning Academy. So what you learn in the house while you're sitting down or standing up or kneeling down, or whatever you learn at home, you can take it outside. If you're on the max, you can read the signs. If you're in the car, you can read the street signs. If you're doing the closed captioning, meaning the letters on your your screen, then you can read as you're driving down the road. You're just learning that you're going to be reading faster. You're going to be able to retain more. You're going to be able to be whatever you want to be because of the techniques that you're learning. You're learning how to read as you go. And once you start learning how to read as you go, you're going to find yourself, Mom, did you see that? And you know, what were you looking at, son? What were you looking at, daughter? Or what were you looking at, Mikey? Whatever your name is. And you'll be able to tell them, you didn't see um that poster. It said when you look down all the time, you need to change your direction to up, but it had an arrow instead of the word up. You didn't see that? Oh, it's so colorful. And you begin to describe how the background was, and you'll find yourself looking at things in more detail. You'll find yourself seeing more clearer. And these are kids. I'm not talking to um grown-ups. I mean, I know I'm sending the videos to the grown-ups, but I'm not talking to the grown-ups. I'm talking to what you can recognize your child doing. You'll see that their dreams, instead of having just, I just had a bad dream, they'll be able to describe what the dream was about. I was running and there was a tall guy, it looked like, and then they'll begin to describe how the guy looked. Or I was running and there was a little teeny girl and she looked like, and but you know, I was the size that I am, but she was like teeny tiny, and she had on like all yellow, and then on her shirt it read these letters. And because this is what they're seeing, because you're teaching them to know, excuse me, you're allowing them to be taught by even yourself, by Miss Janice. You're giving them the time to expand what they know already in their heads, what they see already, the colors that they know, the fragrances that they smell, the angle that they're looking at, the top, the bottom. I was on the right side and they were to my left. They excuse me, they'll begin to become more descriptive. I'm going to stop right here. I don't know how long this is. I'm going to stop right here because I just really want you to know that there is some writing involved, but the majority of the time when I'm teaching what you're going to do, I also come back with a shorter version of what I just had you to write down. Okay, so let's bring that back up. We're going to stop sharing.